Hey, what's up, casual film peeps? Warren here, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm reviewing Ghostbusters Afterlife. Was it a good movie? Is it better than the originals? Stay tuned and find out. Alright, so Ghostbusters Afterlife is a sequel to the first two Ghostbuster movies, and we are not even going to talk about that all-female cast remake mishap they tried to do with, I don't remember what the title of that Ghostbusters movie was, but that was a disgrace. That thing was stupid. I don't care if they were all women. It's just the way they executed it, the story, the jokes fell flat in that movie. It was crap. I mean, Ghostbusters 1 and 2 are still the classic. They're still the best, in my opinion. Number 1 still being the best of all. But 2, I was kind of eh. Sometimes it was good, sometimes it was bad. It just depended on my mood at the time watching it. But looking back, especially when they released that crappy all-female Ghostbusters, I mean, yeah, that movie just like made Ghostbusters 2 like way above there, right? Ghostbusters Afterlife. Now, thankfully, this is not a remake. It is an actual sequel to the first two ones. And there are moments, okay? Overall, if I were to rank them, 1 is still the best. Number 2 is... number 2 is... number 2 is next, and then this one. And then, like I said, we'll forget about the all-female one. But nevertheless, I had a good time. There's some cheese moments. I mean, a lot of it. I mean, it's a comedy. We're talking about Ghostbusters here. It's not meant to be taken seriously, It's not like something that's going to solve world problems. It's just here to entertain. And that also can be a detriment to the movie because I found myself, for the most part, kind of scratching my bald head and wondering what's going on. And maybe because I probably have a high expectation with this movie, considering that 1 and 2 were shown in my childhood, and it's like nostalgic, right? And I think with the nostalgia factor, especially being Ivan Reitman's son who directed this, Jason Reitman. At first I thought it was Ivan Reitman. Yeah, it just had the Reitman name in it. But the son, you can tell it's definitely not Ivan's style, which obviously it would be the case with a different director. You can't really follow the same directors, right? But you would think that with something, being in the family, there might be some hints of Ivan's style here, and there isn't. And I guess that's a good thing. Let's modernize it. Let's not, all these remakes that Hollywood loves to do or revisit and try to, it's hit or miss, right? A lot of times it doesn't hit, and sometimes it does. And when it does hit, it's great. I mean, and if it doesn't, oh well, we still have the original, right? Well, this movie, I think it's just a bad case of the wrong time. And this, in my opinion, should have been released like 30 years ago. They should have made Ghostbusters 3 instead of the female one, all-female cast, and use the original cast, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, all them. And there is a surprise in the end. I mean, it's actually, I saw that kind of like ever since that call, and it's in the trailers. I won't spoil it, but after that call, I just had a feeling that, something will surprise you in the end. But it's like, for me personally, it wasn't really a surprise. But for hardcore Ghostbusters fan, I think, yeah, they will be really pleased with it and appreciative. But as I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of nostalgia in it. The original equipment, just the feel of it. It's just, but at the same time, being that the nostalgia just seems like it's tacked on there just for nostalgia's sake. And I think that's the biggest thing that hurt this movie, in my opinion. It's just too much nostalgia instead of being its own thing, because this is a proper sequel. And just like The Force Awakens, which at first I honestly did not notice until I watched the reviews and read some reviews and rewatched that movie. Yeah, I see from beat to beat that that was kind of a modernized rehash of the first Star Wars. Well, this movie is not quite like that, but it's definitely uh, kind of can take you back and modernize the first one. And I don't know if that's because the first one has been the most successful one and it's the best one, but they use the same villain, the same uh, devil dogs or whatever you call them, the gatekeeper and the keymaster. I mean, some of the angles actually were kind of splitting image of the first one. The only thing difference is just modernized, better CGI. Speaking of which, the CGI is pretty solid in this movie with some practical effects too, so I appreciate that. But for the most part, though, I find myself going back and remembering the first movie, but not in a good way. Sometimes, though, not all the time. There were some lot of times where, like I said, I was appreciative of it, and I enjoyed it. I found some fun, and I had a lot of laughs. And yeah, just thinking back, and oh man, I remember that, But at the same time, they gotta stop doing stuff like that just to buy tickets or sell tickets, and just to like, oh hey, I remember this happened or remember that. Oh, these people are here too. I mean that kind of thing, and make your own story. Yeah. I don't like the idea though that like it's fresh, it's different, it's definitely kids instead of all females. It's all kids that are doing the ghost busting this time around. But that kind of lends itself to some unrealism. And don't get me wrong, in a movie called Ghostbusters, duh. I mean, there's ghosts like going all around, and it's in a world where Ghostbusters existed. Then there was a time when ghosts existed and they were fighting ghosts. So yeah, I get it. It's like that should be normal. But I think like because so much time since the 80s in this story to present day has passed, and a lot of generations, and people pretty much forgetting what had happened back then is one of the main plot of this movie. It's just like when they see a ghost, they're like it's like nonchalant. It's like even like the kids, the stars in this movie, being that it's Spangler's family, Egon Spangler's family. It's like especially the kid, the female kid. It's like when there are scenes when ghosts are happening or coming out, they were just like, oh, it's a ghost. What's going on? They're not freaked out or anything. Like actually, no one was. Even like the townsfolk. It's just weird to me how they're just like nonchalant about it. And like I said, it could be because of what had happened in New York in the story in the 80s. But like I said, so much time has passed, decades has passed, and people had forgotten that. So it's like it should be something new to them, and they should be freaked out, but they're not really that freaked out. So that kind of like brought it down a little bit, only because like I would, like I said, it's meant to be fun. It's not meant to be super serious or realistic because it is a Ghostbuster movie, but have some kind of, don't be all out there that much. I mean, I guess suspension of disbelief, that's what this movie's about. And that could be a good thing or a bad thing. So, definitely aim for kids, I guess, in a weird way. I mean, there's not a lot of violence or blood or anything like that happening. Actually, if any, there wasn't at all. But you can definitely bring your family, your kids to watch this movie, and they can have a great time. Me personally, like I said, it's all right. It's definitely way better than the previous iteration of that, and they tried to remake it with a woke cast, but whatever. I'm not even politicizing this. This is Ghostbusters. So, but yeah, I do recommend it. I did like it. It just could have been better. Maybe could have been better than the second one because he kept top the first one. And then yeah, wait till the end. Obviously, the ending will surprise you if you don't already figure it out. And then with the ending too, I mean, I think it's anticlimactic as far as the way they defeated Goger. And that's not a spoiler because they had mentioned that it's going to be the same villain from the first one. It's just an updated version of it with updated CGIs and makeup effects. But in the end of the day, I'm just glad it's not like a rehash completely of the first one. There's some similarities, but for the most part, it's its own thing. So definitely go out and see it. I recommend it. Enjoy yourself. Have fun at the movies and watch this movie with your family, and have a great weekend watching this. So Yeah, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and smash that like button for me and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And until the next movie review, I'll see you then. Bye-bye.